Hello and welcome to Dingoes Ate My Podcast. I'm Paul,
And I'm Dave.
and this week we'll be discussing the episode The Price. This episode originally aired on April 29th, 2002, attracting approximately 4.28 million viewers. So, let us start off with the number one film in America this week, Dave. You have any idea what it might be?
Big round then.
2002.
From hmm But from last week, I can't specifically remember the last film that was up there, or if it was a big hit.
The last one was The
Nothing
Scorpion
else.
King.
Yeah, um, doubt it would be that, but there's nothing else that immediately comes to mind. Thinking with that in mind, nah, I've got nothing.
Oh, see, I think I gave you a hint last week that this is the movie that is responsible for spawning Free Comic Book Day.
Okay. But
Uh,
still, it's a case of I'm not quite sure which one that is.
okay. It's a little film called Spider Man.
Okay. Because that was one. It was mixed up with either the X-Men movie or some other superhero movie. I can't really think of the title of it.
X Men was July of 2020. Or
Mm.
2020. 2000.
Okay.
So it was
Well,
like,
that's somewhat understandable with the Spider-Mans, and especially with that Spider-Mans.
yes. Well, I mean, Spider Man 2 is the better movie, but the
This was
first
the
one's
first
still very good.
Spider-Man, and people are like, "Oh my god."
I mean, if you want to be pedantic, it's technically not the first live action Spider Man, but it's the first good live action Spider Man.
It was kind of the one where everyone saw it and was like, "Oh my god, it's a superhero movie. It's crazy."
It was a good movie.
It was. For the particular things that were in it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember enjoying it very much. Anyway,
Well,
uh, moving
mm,
along,
indeed.
number one song in America this week, Dave.
Again, nothing else is immediately coming to mind. And I'm trying to think if there was anything from the film that might have assisted with being up on the number one uh, list of that, but
No, I don't think that happened until Spider Man 2.
mm, yeah, nothing immediate.
It is still Foolish by Ashanti.
Mm,
Yes. And finally, we move on to video games. And, ooh, there's not like a ton of games, but damn, are there some bangers in this one. Alrighty. So, on April 30th, so the day after this episode aired, you could pick up on the GameCube 2002 FIFA World Cup.
yay for soccer's.
I guess. If you on April 30th, if you had a Game Boy Advance, you could pick up Dinotopia, the Time Stone Paradise. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, just a complete blank. And with a title like that, you'd figure maybe, whether it be the good or the bad reason.
Yeah, I don't know. Also on April 30th, if you had a PS2, you could pick up Transworld Surf. That's a surfing game.
Supposed yay.
I mean, it reviewed okay.
And I'm sure it was a thing. I vaguely remember seeing advertisements for other surfing like games, but it's not exactly a thing nowadays, so I'm guessing it didn't have that much staying power.
No, I feel like surfing games were never really they never really were a thing. Like skateboarding got to go. BMX had a bit of a run, but surfing never really did. And finally, the big game for April 30th. If you had a GameCube, you were treated to this little thing called Resident Evil Remake.
And like actual remake, not like the re-release or other sorts of things. They like made it pretty, got all the particular stuff working, and again, I'm not sure if they did much of a change up with the controls, but just with its style and whatnot, if you wanted to really see Resident Evil and didn't try any of the old games, this was the one to go with.
Yes, it's like it's one of those games that's like I know it's like 20 years old at this point, but it still looks good.
Hmm.
Okay, now we have one other game we have to talk about that came out the next day on May 1st. Now this was only on PC, and I don't know how familiar you're gonna be with it. At least this entry in the franchise. It was a little game called The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind.
Okay. Because I have heard of it. Nothing that I specifically played, but kind of cases of, oh man, if you get someone talking about this, they're going to be talking for a while.
Yes, Morrowind, um, for the most part, got very, very good reviews. I I've played this game, but not in so long that I basically don't remember anything about it. I'm gonna have to download it again and play it.
I wish you the best of luck. I believe this is the one that has the killer birds that are very difficult to kill.
I don't remember. It also got released later on Xbox, but that's not really here nor there. Anyway,
Hmm.
moving along to the episode.
Oh
Okay.
boy, this episode.
Yeah. Well, we're getting to the end. We're getting near the end of the season, so
Indeed.
some things are starting to ramp up. Okay, so as Angel tries to deal with the loss of his son while cleaning up the earthquake damage upstairs, a potential Angel Investigations client is infected by a transparent slug-like parasite in the hotel lobby. He goes to the juice bar across the street where he chugs glass after glass of juice, saying, "We are thirsty." When Lauren informs him of the disturbance at the juice bar, Angel brings the infected man back to the hotel where he collapses in a pile of human dust, which is a pretty cool effect.
Indeed.
When a slug creature exits from the dust, the gang realizes that the man was actually a parasitic host. The hotel is locked up tight, and Angel sends everyone out with weapons to hunt for the slug. As they search, they realize that the hotel is teeming with the parasites, which suck their human hosts dry. Angel suspects that the infestation is a result of, oh dear God, I'm gonna have to try to pronounce this, theomogenesis, a price for the dark magics that Angel conjured to try to find his son. Meanwhile, at Wolfram and Hart, Lila and Gavin once again quarrel with each other over their handling of Angel. Lila and Gavin received a top secret email about the consequences of Angel's dark magic at the hotel, which Lila may have to deal with since she is involved with the spell. She plans to rid the hotel of the slugs until Gavin relays the message that Linwood wants Angel and the others to die for the torment he was put through. After learning the creatures glow in the dark, Angel shuts off all the lights in the hotel and tracks the slugs by sound to a large ballroom. Researching by the light of a lantern, Fred is attacked by one of the slugs, which slithers into her mouth. Realizing Fred has been infected, Gunn brings her to the rest of the gang in the abandoned ballroom, saying they need to get her to a hospital. Angel stands in his way, determined to keep more innocents from dying. Gruslug, hearing the slugs under the floor, breaks through the wood with an axe. Dear God, you know how much that's going to cost to replace.
Yeah. Yeah.
Below, there's a hidden swimming pool filled with glowing slugs. They begin.
So
Sorry?
So on the one hand, yay, your hotel has a pool. But on the other hand, it kind of has some unwanted visitors at the moment.
I feel like it's a very bad idea to just board over a swimming pool like that,
Maybe
but
just a touch.
you know. Filled with glowing slugs, they begin chasing after the gang. Everyone retreats into the kitchen and barricades themselves in there, except for Gunn, who slips out to ask Wesley for help. Wesley is very bitter about his exile from the group and refuses until Gunn reveals that Fred has been infected. He tosses Gunn a bottle of alcohol and tells him that he'll help this time, but he never wants to see any of his former friends again. Angel takes the water away from Fred until the slug confesses that a vicious killer called the Destroyer has chased the slugs into this dimension in search of Angel. They try to press Fred for more information, but her condition worsens. Gunn shows up and directs Gru and Lorne to hold Fred down while they force her to drink alcohol. As it dehydrates her, she coughs up the slug and Gru stabs it with a sword. Meanwhile, the slugs close in on Cordelia and Angel in the kitchen. Cordelia suddenly begins to glow a bright white, illuminating the entire hotel. This kills all the slugs and leaves everyone stunned by her new power. That's what we call a deus ex machina.
Yeah, pretty much.
Lorne reminds the gang that the coming of the reminds the gang of the coming of the Destroyer, and almost immediately lights flash and a big nasty demon appears, followed shortly by a young man who quickly slays the demon. He smiles and points a weapon at Angel, saying, "Hi, Dad."
Yeah.
So, what did we think of this episode, Dave?
Well, firstly, just with the end of the episode brings up that one particular song slash meme sort of thing that people use on the internet of just like, here comes the boy. And I'm just like, supposedly yay, but also the case that he's pointing a gun at his dad. So there might be some issues. But just on whole with the entire episode, it was definitely interesting. Just with the case of, yeah, you did this satanic ritual to deal with the demon that's technically killed your son, but there's ramifications and a whole bunch of other things that come from it.
Yeah, so this is also kind of a bottle episode. Again, like they're clearly saving money for something big later on, because again, most of this episode takes place in the hotel.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and there's some effects in it, but like there's the one demon and a few other things, but they're clearly gearing up for something.
And oh boy, with Connor showing up, there's probably gonna be a bit of a something.
Oh, you have no idea, Dave. You have no idea. Okay. So, for this episode, let's look at some international titles. So, international titles for this one, we have two. In German, it translates as Price of Magic. And in French, it translates as The Price to Pay. They're both fine, I guess, but...
Yeah, it kind of works. Going with bits of the episode, going with the big of, oh man, you opened this portal, dude. Here's the price of it.
Yes. Which is a concept that will get brought up again later in Buffy.
Yes, I believe that's true, though. In questioning the specifics of which episode or where it specifically happens.
It's in season 6 when Willow resurrects Buffy.
Yeah.
And then, bad shit happens.
Well, within the case of, oh man, you have Buffy running around, but then all of the other shenanigans that were kind of going on with the episode.
Yeah, but then Buffy was like really depressed, and Willow had that snake come out of her mouth, and...
Yeah, exploring those couple windows of magic that probably should not be opened.
Yes, probably not a good idea. Alrighty, so... Okay. If there's nothing else about this episode, next week we'll be discussing an episode called A New World. Don't worry, the synopsis for this one is very, very short. Angel's son Connor is brought back from a hell dimension, a feral teenage warrior, and is hellbent on vengeance against his father for his evil past. And he's also going to kind of make a friend for a little while.
I suppose with these sorts of stories.
And then, well, we'll see. So, until next time, I've been Paul.
And I've been Dave.